This podcast is sponsored by Intentional Living Magazine, your ultimate guide created to help infuse purpose and passion into your everyday life. From expert features that provide valuable insights to thought-provoking content that sparks transformation, this magazine, an online platform, is a perfect source of inspiration for all of those of us who truly believe in the power of intentional choices.
Hello, Claire.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
Are you?
Yes, I am.
I'm glad that
I'm
you're good.
feeling festive.
Are you?
With our Jacob putting the Christmas music on at break time, that was, getting me into that.
Getting your juices flowing.
But getting my juices flowing,
love
festive
that.
juices flowing, yeah.
So today, can we just talk about meditation?
Okay, my favourite topic.
One of your favourite topics.
One of them.
This is like your speciality. Mm-hmm. One of your specialities.
Thank you.
Another one is it's not tea. I mean, you're not bad on coffee, but speciality in terms of meditation and meditation is something that is relatively new to me. Mm-hmm. I've been maybe how long have I known you now? 2.5 years. Maybe
you bought
about
my online
3 years
course,
ago.
didn't you?
Yeah, I did. But I remember being on a retreat and saying, I'd love to learn to meditate. And the woman said, oh, you can just do it by just closing your eyes. And then I thought, well, no, that's not kind of working for me. So then when I met you and you'd done that modern meditation for busy people, I thought that's for me. And so I bought that.
You did?
And I've got to be honest, life-changing.
Thank you very much.
Life-changing.
And that's something that I did with producer Jacob again at Liverpool Podcast Studios. He came to my house to video me.
Did he?
For 2 solid days to make that online program happen.
That's got to be the easiest gig ever. She was just sat there breathing.
It was hard because again I was talking to the camera, so
and
in the end Jacob was asking me questions and knowing I'm a responder and I need to have that interaction, I can't just look at the camera without nothing coming back. It worked having someone behind the camera, and he picked up on that really well. But I must admit I get loads of compliments on the quality of that.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's really
an amazing course.
It's probably one of the best courses I've ever produced in terms of the way it looked, the way it feels. And I really sat down and thought out the content and lashed it on a whiteboard in front of me.
She loves to lash things on a whiteboard.
I love me whiteboards and me flip chart.
So this modern meditation program is now part of the Life Freedom Method.
Yes.
And it's one of the elements of the neuroscience cleverness that you bring to the Life Freedom Method. Yeah. So tell us about how this program works.
Okay. Or just meditation in general, I'll start off with. So I am a very spiritual person, as you know, but I'm also very real. And Gemma, my good friend Gemma, said to me that I'm like a spiritual person for real people or something, is something that she used to call me. I was like, okay, what does that mean? Yeah.
It means that
I get I'm away with the fairies sometimes, and I really believe in, like, you know, God, and there's a bigger intelligence obviously running the show. However, I'm also very real, and I don't always share that with people, and I will always gauge my audience. So I love the science that is now showing us what meditation can do for us. So in terms of what it can do for stress levels, what it can do for the body, what it can do for the brain, the mind, and how it can literally change people's lives and make them well, which is a big claim.
Yes,
but
huge.
Again, starting out, I am a qualified yoga and meditation teacher now, but 10 years ago, I discovered yoga, and I went to a class when I was at an all-time low and my life was changing and there was stuff going on personally. And I went to a yoga class, and you've probably heard me say this before, and I just cried, and I was like, I'm not going to that anymore. It makes me cry, but I needed that release.
Outlet, yeah.
And then I felt after the session, I was like, do you know what? I feel so peaceful. I feel like I've let go of stuff. So I continued to go, and then obviously yoga, meditation is a part of yoga. It's a limb of yoga. And in the yoga that I teach is hatha yoga, and there's 8 limbs in that piece. And one of the limbs is meditation, and it's known as DHYANA, the Sanskrit word. And means one flow of perception. So what you're basically doing is when you are coming out of the head and into the body, and you're focusing on one thing. So that's the one flow of perception. So you will focus on the breath, or you'll focus on a body part, or you'll focus on a candle flame. But it's about, or focus on a mantra. You're training your mind to just focus on that one thing, because we have so many things going on in our heads. And the love of my life, intellectually, Dr. Joe Dispenza, who
I'm married to him.
Jules's husband Mark's turned into Dr. Joe
love
since
him.
being
Yeah.
introduced to meditation. It's so funny. Something that you've been talking to him about for a long time, but
I know.
the seed has planted.
Can I just
now,
ask you a really
hasn't
quick
it?
question?
Yeah.
So when you first found the yoga and the
Yes.
meditation as part of yoga, is that when you became fully connected to your body and listening to her?
Okay. I would say that was the start of it, because I've been working in personal development and training, and, as a learning and development business partner in business and in the corporate world. And I'm an NLP master practitioner. I'm a coach. I talk about human behavior in the leadership training that we do all the time. And I was doing that years ago before yoga, but it was all surface level. So it'd be like, there'd be leadership models, and there'd be stuff around, emotional intelligence and connecting to yourself. So I was teaching these concepts, but I wasn't embodying them. It was all, I know this stuff and I'm teaching you. And I loved it, because I could see light bulbs going off in people's heads when we were doing these things, and you could see the potential in people. So I loved teaching it, but I wasn't living it.
Yeah.
But I thought I was. But
Yeah.
looking back now, I wasn't. So I was 38 when I discovered yoga, 37, 38. And that was the start of the pure self-awareness about really then becoming to observe my thoughts and how they made me feel. And I feel like I always have been very self-aware of what's going on around me, because I am an extrovert. And if we look at my Myers-Briggs, or if you look at my human design, I get my energy from outside of myself, and I respond to life, and I love moving.
Yeah.
I'm a generator in human design, so I've got loads of energy most of the time if I'm doing stuff that lights me up. And I used to pick up on people, even when I was little. I'd pick up on people's, she doesn't look happy today, I'll go and check in on her. Or they're having a good time over there, I'll go and join in with them. So I'd always be flitting about and dead aware of what was going on outside of me, but not aware of what was going on inside, because my focus was always outside and making sure everyone was okay. And even going back to being a little girl, I was always doing that. Then obviously you come into your teens, and drink and drugs and all of that rock and roll comes in, and that numbed me out a little bit. Then I had a mad experience where I astral travelled at 18, which when I was abroad in Tenerife with my mate, which I didn't know that was astral travel then, thought it was going insane, but only recently found out that that's what that was. And then that my mental health suffered, and I just literally closed myself off. I closed myself down, and I just did focus on me, but it was focus on me as in, get me hair looking the best, getting the hair extensions. I didn't get the Botox then, because I don't think it was even known that long ago. But it was all about how I looked on the exterior.
Yeah.
I had to be thin. I had to have lovely clothes, which again made me feel good at the time. But I didn't eat or nourish my body right, and it was always about going out of a weekend. And then, so I just fell into that pattern until I was 30, got married, had the kids 32, 34. And then 37, when I went back to work and I'd got a new job, and I was just like, I was really busy. I was stressed out. I was like, I don't know what's going on. Me and Mark were not good. There was stuff going on with me and Mark, and I was literally at rock bottom. And that's when I started questioning, what am I doing with my life? What am I doing? And then my mate said, come to yoga. So I went to yoga, and that just highlighted
like a switch,
just the movement of the body. And when the teacher was saying, now come out of the head and come into the body and breathe into the posture. And I'd just be in a flow and go, oh, hello, body. I'm sort of like, hi. And then all these thoughts of like these judgmental thoughts of myself, like, you stupid cow, you know, like, really, you haven't got a clue. Who would want to be with you? Why? No wonder Mark doesn't want all of this stuff. And then that's why I started crying. I was like, God, I really do need to practice what I preach, because if some people tell me this and I'm saying this to myself, but it's only just highlighted. So it really gave me an insight into my thoughts and how they made me feel. And then I just went on that journey with yoga and meditation and just dipping in and out of it. And then it was about 6 years ago, I discovered Dr. Joe Dispenza's work. And he is a doctor who basically was in a bicycle race when it was in the 1980s, and he was a chiropractor, and he broke his back, his spleen, was told he'd never walk again. And he said there was just something inside of him saying, I'm not going to go for the operation to have the metal rod put in my spine. I don't feel like I need it. And so he said, it sounds crazy because I'm a doctor and that's what I've been taught. And he basically got took home and decided to just be and then started meditating and physically visualizing his spine being put back together. And then within 12 weeks, he was back up on a bike again.
Amazing.
And then that was like, oh my God, his story's amazing. And he's written 4 books now. So I started studying his work, and that's what then got me into, okay, so I know meditation works for me and it's quite spiritual and woo. But then when I started reading the studies that he's been doing with an Australian university and across the world, helping thousands of people, I was like, this is huge.
Yeah.
So I need to really study this as well.
Yeah, for sure. And that culminated in you creating this 2-week, 14-day program, which for me was pretty life-changing. I've got to say, I felt like I'd told myself, my mind's too busy to blooming meditate. I can't meditate. It's only for, who's got time to do that?
Yeah.
And now I think, who hasn't got time to do that? Yeah. Because you start it off on 6 minutes a day.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the hook. It's only 6 minutes a day. And if you haven't got, like when we say to people and they go, right, hang on, let me just have a look at your phone. What's your screen time? 9 hours. You've got time, love.
Yeah.
Right. And what I loved about it is almost like it's a commitment. You buy it.
Yeah.
And the reason that it's important to buy it is because that it's a fair energetic exchange. And if you're buying something and you've got value in it, then you're more likely to do it. And you make it easy to do because you start with 6 minutes and then every day you get an email to say, next one.
Yeah.
Next one. And at the end of the 2 weeks, you're thinking, well, I can't not do it now.
Yeah.
Because it has such an impact on your life. Everything just slows down a bit and everything's calmer, and it can all be whizzing around you. But you're just like, it's almost like you're the calm in the storm.
Yeah, and you're responding to life rather than reacting to it.
Do you know what? I think you could have said that before. You know?
Full quotes.
Seriously. And so, that is part, again, like I said, it's part of our life freedom method because, again, it's the connection with the body, the connection with this place that we live in. And that's what because
we're always living in our heads, aren't we, with the thoughts and thinking that we're supposed to make decisions with the head, and we're not. We're supposed to make them with the other brains as well.
Most of us are, yeah.
Yeah, 92%, I think, of us in the human design theory. But again, and because a lot of people were coming to me for coaching, and part of one of the methods for me to help them get into that stillness and that self-awareness, we do like a short meditation, and then a lot of people were saying, I can't meditate, I'm too busy, or I like want that perfect meditation. So I would then explain, every meditation every day will be different because it depends on what's going on in your life. You'll never get rid of your thoughts. Meditation's not about clearing the mind.
That's really
because
important.
that would be, people go, oh, you really try and clear the mind. You can't, because you can't clear the mind.
Yeah.
But it's the focus. It's that focus on this mantra, or
it's
focus on this
that
thing.
helped me.
And then that then once you start to have that meditation practice each day, then you are more present in life, and you'll have those meditation moments throughout the day where you're just in the moment with it, whoever you're with. and loving that moment.
Yeah.
Like right now, I'm loving this moment with me Julie.
I'm loving it with me Chloe in a green jumper.
You're just so present and so grateful.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was just not one of them people because I was always like, are they okay? Are they okay? I need to go out with them because I haven't seen them for ages. And then when I was with them, I'd be thinking about something else. Yeah.
All the shoulds.
All the shoulds.
Shove them in the bin.
Some of them absolutely wanted to be there. But while I was with these people having a great time, I'm thinking about, I need to be doing this other thing over here. Yeah. And was never present with the people that I was actually in the room with. So in terms of the science and how it helps us, especially with us, the whole world being so busy, is that we deal with busy everyday stresses. So and we're constantly going from the traffic jam to the school run to the bills coming through. So you're constantly living in, oh, what's this stress? What's this stress? What's this stress? Oh, okay. So you'll manage them better. You're giving yourself time to put the body into the rest and digest it needs to be in so that it can pump serotonin and dopamine around the body instead of cortisol and adrenaline. Puts us back into balance, which we love talking about. Sometimes, you know, it's good to have stress because stress can keep us safe. But when it's over time and it's for silly, ridiculous things, that's what's going to make us sick.
It's consistent stress.
So it's the good stress and there's bad stress and that. With all of the disorders and all of the conditions that are out there now, you know, you've got people who will have poor mental health at times. If they say it's 1 in 4, don't they?
Oh, I don't.
But
believe
we think
that.
it's more than that,
It's more like 4 in 4.
Yeah, based on who we speak to. And then you've got people who've got depression, PTSD, general anxiety disorder, and you know, phobias. There's so many things, and it's about, okay, you can have poor mental health, and we will have that at some point in our year and in our lives. We all will, and that's normal because you can't always just be up here all of the time. That's so normal. But it's when that poor mental health thing stays and it leads into something like depression or a bit longer term, and you feel like there's no way out and there's this lack of hope, and we've got to reconnect to who we are, because that lack of meaning and the lack of purpose that a lot of people have today, they are constantly searching outside themselves to make themselves happy and for them to bring themselves joy, when it can be found in here.
It's all in here. And this is why, so meditation plays a big part in the Life Freedom Method, not just from the meditation part, but from the science part and from the visualization part is really present in our perception alchemy part, which is where we start to break down and transmute energy that's been held in the body that creates potential pain and blockages of energetic flow and physical pain. So that neuroscience piece is at the root of it. And I think in our white paper, we cite the visualization work, a bit like you just said with Joe Dispenza, around, there's a study about how some women healed better from breast cancer by visualizing piranhas eating the cancer cells. It's like bonkers. And it isn't, and it's in our white paper, so it cites it. And so when people say, oh God, these two are a proper woo, we go, yeah, we'll wear the woo badge with pride, but it's the science behind all of what we do. So thanks for sharing that.
I just wanted to give an analogy because
I love an analogy.
We love an analogy too, because you were talking about.
That's what we're going to do, an analogy every episode.
And it's an analogy that I use in the course, and it's about stress and the units of stress. So when you talk about the stress bucket or that container, and this might just help you about thinking about starting a meditation practice and thinking about it, because the education around this bit's really good. So if you think about it, if you wake up on a Monday morning and you get up about your day and you go to work, you come back, you might go to the gym, you might have to go and pay a bill, you might bump into a neighbour, have a good chat, or you might, have a row with your neighbour. You get home on a Monday night and you've collated 10 units of stress that day. That's just like normal daily stress. And then on the Tuesday, then you get up, the same thing type happens. And then by the end of that day, you've got another 10 units of stress. So every single day over our lives, we're accumulating these little pieces of things that might store in our body as stress. So
Stress nuggets.
Yeah, little stress nuggets. Little nuggets. Little fuckers they are if they stay there too long. So over time, you're accumulating all that. So everything that happens to you in life, all your experiences, the good, bad, and the ugly, it all stores in the system somewhere anyway, in the subconscious, doesn't it? But if we look at units of stress, so by Friday, if you just look at 1 week, you've collated 50 units of stress. And what meditation? Well, sleep gives us some rest. So if you do get whatever your body needs, and it could be 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours sleep, for some it depends on you. You need to know your body. But sleep will reduce those 10 units of stress by 3 units. So if you, on a Monday night, you come home, you've got your 10 units of stress, you wake up Tuesday, you're down to 7. Great, because you've lost some units of stress because the body's had the time to rest. But meditation if you meditate on a daily basis, and if you do it twice a day for 15 minutes, that reduces your stress right the way down to below 0. So if I meditate in the morning and I meditate in the afternoon and then I'm sleeping, that takes me into the minus. So I minus those stresses.
You're like an amoeba.
If that makes sense.
I bloody love it.
What's an amoeba?
It's like do you remember learning that in biology?
No.
It's like a cell that just goes bloop.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a bloop.
Do it again.
Like,
what does it do?
Bloop, bloop.
Is that its purpose to just be like?
I don't know what its purpose is, but I love it. I love to be an amoeba sometimes.
Well,
but this is how powerful this is, because this can be done anywhere. And I remember Claire going to Florida, which is not her kind of holiday at all. But she does it. She takes one for the team, for the kids, and they're there in Disneyland. And where's Claire? She's under a bush meditating. I loved it. What are you doing? It was my second meditation of the day. And she found a place and a time to do it. And it was literally 10 minutes.
I had to, because I was going to just go.
Because your stress units were...
Stress units on me, and all of everything, because Disney, I mean, I've been to Florida and Disney before, and it's not, I'm not going back. I mean, it's beautiful and magical when you first go, but not for me. But I wanted the kids to experience it, and they loved it, but I needed that time. And it was like, I don't care whether I'm on holiday or not, I am meditating because it's a habit now. It's part of my daily ritual.
It's a ritual.
Yeah, it's a ritual, and I honour it so much. And even now, when the kids know, Mark knows when I'm meditating, there's no coming in the room, because they know how much that saves them if they let mum meditate. And that whole thing around, being perimenopausal, having an open head centre in my human design, constantly got stuff going on, and I'm plugged into the outside world. It just allows me to plug into me, recharge. It allows me to release any stresses, because you'll sit with the stress. We talk about sitting in the shit, sitting in the pain. Sit with the thoughts, sit with how things make you feel, whether it could be a joyful meditation, it could be a sad meditation, it could just be neutral, you could just be in the bliss field for a few minutes, because every meditation's different. But it's like it allows you to release that stress, and it leaves the body. So like loads of other stuff that we talk about holistically, that's something that you can do, and you can choose to do it in your own time. Whether you choose to buy my course for the meditations and my voice, because my voice is not for everybody, obviously.
How rude. But I love having Claire. And this is what she says. All we've got is here and now. That's what you come away with. So what about this? How do you feel about this, right? So how do you feel about us offering the listeners 20% off the Modern Meditation Masterclass?
And we'll
put the discount code in the
Let me
notes.
write it on my list, because we'll forget.
She put it on one of her lists, because all you've got is here and now.
So we'll put the information to that meditation in the show notes with the discount. And I just wanted to say again, for any people who are really busy, who are really stressed, feeling burnt out, lost, lonely, got no purpose in their life, or they feel like they've got no meaning in their life, this will help you to reconnect to who you are. It also helps you deal with those daily stresses. So one more bit of science is, it brings the two hemispheres of the brain together.
I love this bit.
The corpus callosum, which is in the middle of the brain, it's like the bridge from the left to right brain, so the head and the heart. And then if you're constantly living in just one part in the left, then, which is the autopilot everyday stuff, it forgets to connect to the heart and to the creative piece. So if we meditate every day, just after a week's worth of meditation, the corpus callosum grows thicker. So that means that you have more access in those moments of reaction, or where you feel like you're going to go, you will be able to, in the moment, access both sides of the brain to come up with a better response, with a calmer response. So instead of shouting at the kids on the way to school, or instead of telling someone to F off on the road because they've got in your way and they're probably in the same rush as well, it just allows you to go, do you know what? I'll let them through. It doesn't really matter if they get to work 1 second earlier than what I am. No, it doesn't, because we're all so busy, and we do need to slow down. We've disconnected. I do feel like people are starting to connect again, and society is connecting again, but then there's certain areas of the world that are not. But I think everything happens for a reason. But yeah, it will help you respond better, to those everyday solutions. So you are then meditating in your life as opposed to just sitting down and meditating.
Well, Claire, you had me at a hello.
Sure.
You did. You had me at hello. So if you want to have a go at Claire's meditation for busy people, it is amazing. It is part of the Life Freedom Method. As you know, the Life Freedom Method is about how we find space and freedom from our body, from any pain, from stress, from taking control of the whole shooting match so that we can live the life that we really want to live. This is a fundamental part of it. Mm-hmm. So we will put a discount code into the show notes that will give you 20% off the normal price. And please have that with our love.
Yeah. Enjoy. And thanks for listening.
It's tra from me.
And I think it's a namaste from me today.
I love that.